All right, everybody, here. Welcome to episode one of the breakdown. Um, Today we're going to be talking about last night's WWE Monday Night Raw. So, on this episode of the breakdown, I talk about what happened last night at Monday Night Raw, and I give my thoughts. That's the way I'm going to do this. I want to thank the friendly people at Wrestling Through the Years for letting me use this name. A special thanks to Eric, who's the producer for that podcast. So let's get into it. If you like videos like this, leave a like and subscribe. Videos uploaded every week. All right, so let me get a drink real quick. I have to make sure I generate the clips for this episode. All right, give me a second. All right, so I'm basically going to go through everything on this episode. Um, so CM Punk opened the show as the new world's heavyweight champion with a loud chant of "You deserve it" chants given to him. He begins thanking his wife AJ Lee and thanks the WWE Universe, saying he couldn't get back to being champion without them. Punk says he doesn't know how much time he has left and he's holding on to the moment as long as he can, especially without Seth Rollins creeping around, trying to take momentum from him like he usually would. And then he's swinging the belt around. Um, he says if he's not the best in the world, if he's not the best in the world on every given day, he'll lose it. And he's going to be the fighting champion to defend against anyone, followed by a challenge to John Cena. Logan Paul appears, and Punk shuts it down and says anyone but him. Paul says he's absolutely up for the challenge and he's ready for him, and that he earned the shot. Paul Heyman then appears from the backstage area with the Vision, telling Paul that the front of the line belongs to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Heyman tells Paul to leave the ring, and he refuses, they're saying that they're late for the party. Breaker tells Punk and Paul that Heyman bought everyone 2 weeks to live being patient, but that he's not waiting anymore. The Vision then attacks Punk in the ring, but as Paul takes the chance to leave, he attacks the Vision and assists Punk. The Vision made a quick work of Paul, leveling him with a what was it? A tsunami splash until Punk chased him out of the ring with a steel chair. Punk is backstage. He's confronted by Jey Uso. Uso tells him the Uso tells him he feels like Punk needs some help. Punk says he doesn't know who he's talking to, but assures him he's talking to the main event, Jey Uso. Uso tells him that they could solve the Vision's problem tonight, and Punk agrees, setting tonight's main event. Dominic Mysterio comes to the ring and says that on Saturday he proved that he was the greatest Intercontinental Champion and AAA Mega Champion of all time, and that there is no man on earth that could stop him. Rey Mysterio interrupts and returns to WWE after a serious injury and tells Dom that he could say he's the greatest champion if he wants, but he can't say he's the king of the luchadors because he insults their bloodline. He asks if they think he's better than Eddie Guerrero. And Dom tells him to keep his father's name out of his mouth. But he is better than him too. He says that he's better than Ray. Ray tells Dom that as long as he's around, he'll never be the king of the luchadors. It will never be his ring, and he will never be the greatest Mysterio. Then the whole brawl and fight breaks out, and he hits Dom with the 619. My thoughts on that. Well, I don't think Dominic Mysterio is the greatest luchador of all time. When he wins the WWE Championship, I'll think otherwise. But Rey Mysterio, to me, is the king of the luchadors. He's been around for a very long time, and I think it's premature for Dominic to say that. So, like I says, until he wins the WWE Championship, then I'll call him the king of luchadors. But as far as I'm concerned right now, he's not. So let's talk about Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch appears from the crowd and says she has a lot to get off her chest, including Seth Rollins' injury and the Vision's attack, as well as a crooked referee who's out to hold her down, which I think is a bunch of BS. She tells Maxine Dupree, "You survive in this business by being good," and that her next chance at the Women's Intercontinental Championship will be her last chance. And she heads to the back. She is confronted by the Kabuki Warriors and has a stare down with them before leaving. The only reason why Becky Lynch has that title is because of Triple H. He gave her that opportunity. She didn't work for it. So let's talk about Jey Uso. Jey Uso was backstage and approached by Paul Heyman. Heyman tells him that he was always his favorite member of the Bloodline, which is a bunch of BS. I think they were all equals. There's no favorites because he always kept him guessing. Uso tells him he's teaming with Punk because he beat him fair. Heyman tells him that that's not what Roman would say. And Uso interrupts him and tells him that he doesn't care what anyone says. He's going to do what Jey Uso wants to do, which is his own right. Heyman tells Uso that he respects him because while he won't join the vision, he has a vision of his own, and he likes that. I can't see Jey Uso ever selling out. Um, I don't see it happening anytime soon. So at the conclusion of the main event, Logan Paul returns to the ring, appears to assist CM Punk and Jey Uso, but hits Punk with his brass knuckles, leaving him out cold. Heyman holds back Breaker and Reed, and Paul holds the brass knuckles out and hands them to Paul Heyman as he nods in agreement. So it looks like the Vision has a new member in Logan Paul. Um, trying to think here. I think they could have done better. They didn't have to put Logan Paul in the group. Um, so this was the first time in a decade that Punk returned to Raw as WWE champion. You know, after his win at Saturday night's main event, he's ready to take on all challengers. He's not going to duck anybody. Um, Finn Balor or Sheamus should be in the number one contenders. They should be right up there in the number one contender slot. They deserve a chance at Punk's title. Um, I don't know about Dominic though. I don't think he deserves it. I think he's a mid card talent and nothing else. Um, if he's boots right up to the number one contender spot, I would think that would be kind of funny because on that whole entire roster, Dominic is the underdog. I don't see him ever getting a title shot. No, that'd be a big laugh. Um, okay, so they set the first two matches to determine who will be John Cena's final challenger. Rusev against Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura against Sheamus. Next two matches will be set during this week's SmackDown, establishing the first 8 to have a shot at the retiring greatest of all time. I'd like to see Rusev go against John Cena one last time. Yeah, those two need to do another match together. Because I like the U.S. title match at WrestleMania. It's one of my favorite matches. By far on the card, it's one of my favorites. It's nothing against Sheamus, and it's nothing against Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean,